The Minnesota Vikings just proved their championship medal at the home of last season's NFC champions. Case Keenum was virtually perfect in this football game for the Minnesota Vikings as they defeated the Atlanta Falcons by a score of 14-9 here at the brand spanking new Mercedes-Benz Stadium here in Atlanta, Georgia. The Vikings now 10-2 on the season and now have won 8 consecutive ball games. And the main reason why the Vikings have won 8 games in a row for the first time since their 15-1 campaign back in 1998 has been the play of their quarterback under center, Case Keenum. How good was Case Keenum in this ball game today? Well, in the second half, he threw 13 passes. He completed 13 passes for 117 yards and a 6-yard touchdown pass to Kyle Rudolph on the first play of the fourth quarter to give the Minnesota Vikings the lead that they would not relinquish. That touchdown pass capped off a drive that took 15 plays and ate up 8 minutes and 15 seconds off the clock as the Vikings really used ball control in the second half to salt the game away. They also used a very stingy defense, holding a high-powered Atlanta Falcons offense at home without a touchdown, and Julio Jones only 2 catches for 24 yards in this ball game. Minnesota now improves to 10-2 on the season and now have a stranglehold on the NFC North Division title. And after the game, we got a chance to talk with one of the players on offense for the Minnesota Vikings, wide receiver Adam Thielen. 4 catches, 51 yards in the ball game, and a crucial third down catch on the final drive of the football game. And I asked him to begin our conversation. All wins in the NFL are big, but is beating the defending NFC champions a bigger win than the other 9 wins that they've had this season?
I don't think so because, like you said, it is so hard to win in this league, and it feels so good. It doesn't matter who you're playing; it feels good to win. So we never really kind of put more emphasis on a certain game. We just every game's big. Each game, each week, as the season goes on, we know it's going to be a bigger and bigger game. So we just got to keep coming to work and keep getting better.
You had a couple of massive drives in that second half. That 8-minute drive in the third quarter, going into the fourth quarter for a touchdown, and then the last drive where you had that big catch that pretty much salted the game away. Are those drives what champions are made of?
Absolutely. We talked about in the huddle before that last drive is, hey, let's close this out with the ball in our hands. And that's something we try to do each week is when we do get in those situations, those 4-minute situations, we want to close the game out with the ball in our hands and control the things we can control.
How impressive is this Minnesota defense to hold the Falcons, such a high-powered offense, the past few years without a touchdown?
They're unbelievable. We got a lot of guys that can make plays. We have a lot of guys that are really, really good football players and great teammates. So we're very fortunate to have our defense, and I think that's kind of why, as an offense, we work so hard because we want to hold up our end of the bargain and really help this defense just stay off the field.
Do you have any time during the season to think about where you were just a few years ago, undrafted free agent, playing in Minnesota State Mankato, now playing for the Vikings, putting up numbers that people like Anthony Carter and Chris Carter and Randy Moss are putting up? Is there time to kind of really reflect about where you were to where you are now?
No, not really. I mean, I just love being on the field. I love playing football. That's where I'm the most happy is when I'm out there playing football with my guys and just letting it loose. So for me, I'm not really worried about anything other than just going out there and playing and trying to play my best football.
Case Keenum was pretty much perfect in that second half. Of all the things on the field and off the field, what is Case's best trait in your mind?
I think it's preparation. He's a guy that you're going to get the same Case every week. He's a guy that's going to know the game plan better than anybody, and he's just a guy he's a grinder. He's a guy you want on your side, that's for sure.
Where did your chemistry start with Case?
I think everybody's had good chemistry just because of the way he works. I mean, as a receiver, when you see a guy work the way he does and give you opportunities, you just kind of build that trust over time. And we're very fortunate to have him as our quarterback.
Have you ever watched the TV show Coach?
Yeah, Mankato State, man. Absolutely.
Yes, because that's Minnesota State, and you were Minnesota State, but one was a real college and one was fictional. I guess did that? I know it's just kind of a funny question, but. Do people ever tease you about that? Oh, you went to Minnesota State too?
Yeah, for sure. No, I think it's kind of cool though. I never really thought about it until people kind of brought it up to me. Once I got in the NFL, but it's pretty cool.
Okay, Adam Thielen, not coached by Hayden Fox, but coached by by Mike Zimmer. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
For the Atlanta Falcons, a missed opportunity to improve to 8-4 on the season as their offense really didn't get on track until late in the second half. Matt Ryan in this football game, 16 of 29 for only 173 yards passing, no touchdowns, no interceptions. But the big story for the Atlanta Falcons offense, only 2 catches for Julio Jones for 24 yards. Last week, he put up a 250-yard receiving game for the 3rd time in his career in a win against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, but he was absolutely straitjacketed by the Minnesota Vikings defense. Give credit to the Vikings defense. They held the Falcons without a touchdown in this football game, a rarity for the Atlanta Falcons at home inside the friendly confines of Mercedes-Benz Stadium and, of course, the Georgia Dome before that, holding the Matt Ryan-led Atlanta Falcons offense without a touchdown. That's exactly what the Minnesota Vikings did here today in defeating the Atlanta Falcons by a score of 14-9. So stay tuned to A Lot of Sports Talk and ALOTofSportsTalk.com. The written recap of this football game is below this video. If you're watching this video on A Lot of Sports Talk, we'll also have a photo gallery from this football game between Minnesota and Atlanta. We have coverage of college basketball for you, Tennessee and Georgia Tech tipping off on this Sunday as well. We'll have coverage for you of that game as well, and we'll also have coverage of the NBA and the National Hockey League as well in the coming weeks. So once again, the Minnesota Vikings stay hot. A 14-9 victory over the Atlanta Falcons. The Vikings are now 10-2 on the season. From Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta, Georgia, my name is Adeshina Koike for ALotofSportsTalk.com.